and let's hope that they are competitive enough and they manage to have a successful day tomorrow. Certainly the African teams that have attended the tournament over the last 5 years or so have been gradually getting stronger and stronger. There's LeBale, bit of a space out wide, decides to take it in himself, gets to ground, quick delivery away there by De Flail, and
he's working hard.
He's working hard there. Esterola still not able to get over the line. Chernay Esterola. There's LeBale through the hands. 15 Trail out wide, and number 1 Dupuis, and an infringement some way back in that play. I'm guessing it's an offside against the
There was an offside, but I'm not sure what the infringement was to stop that last play. But
well,
okay,
I would agree. It didn't.
Maybe there was a slight pass forward with one of the passes there.
Yeah,
but
perhaps. Maybe
once again, I'm a big fan for the referee keeping the whistle in the pocket until it needs to be blown. But he must have seen
more because you like to have a quick word yourself.
More because I keep getting sent off. Yes.
Bastien de Halde is the scrum half, and LeBale wearing the 9 shirt, and De Halde looks to dart round the blind side, and a good angle, and looks like the first try. Number 12, Cyril André, and the East Africans perhaps a little caught out there by the central position and the scrum, or the backs being lined up on the other side. And a very comfortable try, Cyril André.
Yeah, I feel that if the scrum is strong enough, that's the key moment is when the scrum half picks up which way he goes. And obviously, unless you're going to load one side, it's a difficult one to take care of. So I think the scrums have to be competitive to make sure that the scrum half doesn't get an easy passage around the scrum to offload his players.
Well, that is one of the more noticeable things about 10s. There is a few players less around the backs there, and as you say, a solid scrum key to the whole thing.
They're correct. The loose forwards are a big factor in this, but obviously we don't have them in 10s, but it allows that scrum half
so there's Boskut joining that ruck.
Players to do their thing.
Ominde is the scrum half, and a lot of commitment to the breakdown at this one. Philip Odewour, I know he's lost that one. And there's Andre, it's going out wide. Number 14 is Kunro Kalo. He's working really hard and not really gone anywhere there. And that was a good piece of skill there by De Halde.
Well recovered, yes.
De Halde looks a threat when he picks it up. Lovely little burst through that gap by Trail. De Halde again finding his teammate LeBale, and LeBale is a very elusive back, and a very nice second try for the Pyrenees.
So as they say, every time there's a line break, it shortens the defensive chain that appears here with the team. So the team is struggling to get back to that breakdown position. It shortens the chain. The chain might break. That's where the gaps come through, and the players can take their lines off. So it's important, obviously, to get over that gain line, even just a couple of meters, because it puts people on the back foot, allows people running at pace to hit those lines and score the tries like we just saw. Nice try.
And Jules LeBale, credit with that one. Well, a slippery ball, we'll put it down to it.
Okay, well, we're not sure about that one. Should we rewind and start again?
He caught that well. And
he did. It could have just popped out, actually.
I'm not entirely sure what...
No.
So, the Pyrenees, the Cure Club Pyrenees. It'll be interesting. That is a real long line out there.
Over the
top. Number 4, Tozan, Jean-Michel Tozan, who's a regular appearance at the 10s. De Halde seems to have been snagged there, but they've cleared him out. Toes in. Big figure there, number 8 is...
The one thing I am noticing about the Pyrenees at the moment is that they're not throwing silly passes off. They're holding it, and if they need to, they recycle and go through a reboot, as I say, speed the game up again later on.
L'Espinasse is at the bottom of that. And
so that was a bit of holding on.
You're spot on with that. It did look as if he was slightly isolated. That is the negative, though, with this, where they are keeping it in hand, and if they get a little separated. So.
Exactly, as we saw in the earlier games, that one little knock on and a quick turnaround, and you're ending up down the other end of the field. So it's important to keep hold of that pill.
So the line out is successful on this occasion. Number 10 is Boscut, Ocean Boscut. But there just seems to be some inconsistency with East Africans, some poor handling.
Slightly, yes.
Some poor decision makings, perhaps.
Yeah, I feel that they're trying to make things happen off first phase instead of just playing the patterns, and even hit up at two, get a platform there in the middle of the park, and then everyone can come around the corner and run hard. But throwing the ball out wide, long passes. No.
Really big scrum. The Haute gets it out, goes out wide this time. 8. Big figure of Gobelet.
So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players from the opposite team, and the penalty's still given away. So they're obviously looking to snaffle that ball.
Esterola. Pulled to the ground.
They've got to be careful not to commit too much from
knock on there, perhaps. And there's Lepale. Looks as if he's going to sneak his way over. Lost forward. Yes, lost forward.
He did reach out there and try and touch it under the post there, which actually a try there.
Yes, it would have been, but he just lost it. He seemed to lose it forward. But that would have been close. If we watched the TMO.
I would say again, and once again, I did actually say I think the referee needed to let that go slightly, as in there was enough vantage to play on. But he's blown up to reset or reboot or restart this game with a scrum. Maybe it was a knock-on, so excuse me on that one.
So again, you can see the communication between the scrum half and the half-back, and De Halde and Lebel. And this time he does go towards the big figure of Gobelet, who is proving extremely difficult to stop. De Halde comes round himself, and a second try for Cyril Andre. And a third try in total, and well worked. Again, clever play by the half-backs.
Once again, the big man pivots off here and offloads the ball, and unselfishly he gives it to the big man on the wing there. So well played. They're playing some smart rugby here, and as I say, the East African team is not an easy team to beat, but they're looking quite comfortable. The Pyrenees team.
Well, the big figure of Jean-Baptiste Gobelet it would prove difficult for the Africans to get down. And there's a lot of strength and power amongst the Africans, but the tackle technique on occasions, perhaps?
It seems to be in this game.
They an upright standing tackle.
They seem to be. They're committing a little bit too many to the rucks, and yeah, I think their first tackles are sort of waning a bit. So
and again, ball dropped.
It did go backwards, so I think play on. So.
By Matthias Ochoa. The referee didn't entirely see the.
So I think he's decided. I think he's decided there was a knock on from the kickoff.
Well, the kickoff definitely went back, but I think
no, it's not a knock off from the kickoff because it's gone to the East African. So I'm not sure what happened there.
It must have been a Frenchman.
But then again, the ball was still live, so
So we've got Jeffrey Ominde, the scrum half, who has played with the Kenyan 7s, 27-year-old, and plays his rugby in Kenya for Topfi Nakuru. And Probably someone that's actually played with the Kenyan side out in Hong Kong. Big push though from the French.
Well cleared by the scrum half.
And the movement, and now we see a bit of pace.
As we say, he's looked for the mismatches.
And that's clever.
Keep that ball moving.
Number 11. And there is Trent Hape, and we've got a former sevens.
They've got a penalty in the pocket, and they've got a free play now.
Oh, good hands, moved it wide cleverly. Good power now, they're on the front foot. Number 16, a little bit loose there, but it's still moving. Big figure of Makombe. Makombe looks as if he's going for the corner. And
they've still got the penalty to be on that one.
Almost shouldered out into touch there by the Halde.
Now that exit plan started with a mismatch out on the
yes. Excellent.
Taking on the big man and outran him. So
yeah,
that's important to look up and see who you've got in front of you, and if there's mismatches, you have a go.
Alam Otim, the Rwandan sevens and the Rwandan 15s, showing the pace, and a little grubber through, a little bit optimistic there. A poor angle on that. Disappointing there, but there is half-time, and it's been an entertaining first half, that one. The French have played some very savvy rugby, but the Africans, East Africans, have been that one moment there where they ran the length of the field.
As I say, they've got the skill sets, as you can just see, they can take them on, but obviously not having enough ball in the first half has made them 17 points down. So yes, it'll be interesting. The words from the coach to the East African boys, how would they play this next half, and also the Pyrenees, how are they going to contain this East African side who are looking in that last couple of minutes there, were played some good rugby.
Dave Hughes and Benjamin Breeze are the coaches for the East Africans, but I've been impressed with Trent Hape, who is actually from New Zealand, but he's added something to that side. But a very impressive run by the Alam Otim, who plays for Hima Cement Heathens in Uganda, and has played rugby with Rwandan 7s and 15. So, they're still in this game, though.
They are still in the game. It's only 17 points. It would have been nice to get them to get a try in that last phase of that half. But as I say, 10 minutes is a long time in the game, and we'll see how they go.
So, just about to start the second half of the Cure Club Pyrenees against the East Africans, the penultimate match in Pool D for today. A whole lot of action tomorrow, and if you're watching it on television, starting around 1 o'clock, if I remember correctly, going all the way through to 9. And if you have got time, you should really come down. The atmosphere will be fantastic tomorrow afternoon and into the evening, and particularly when the big meetups between teams like the APP Dragons, the Samurai and the Penguins, and the YCAC, then that's when the real sharp end of this goes. So quick tap and go there by the East African scrum half, Aminde, pulled back. There's going to be a big charge by Benjamin Makobe. Again, Aminde gets it out quickly. And again, out wide is the big figure of Alam Olim. Again, he wants a quick tap. He wants to have another run at this one. Good hands there by the big four. There is Philip Owar.
It's that ball retention is the key here for these guys now. So.
And not entirely sure what Trent Hape was looking to do on that occasion, but it's come back.
Once again, he just needs to
control. For a penalty.
Yeah, and once again, they just need to control that ball a little bit more. And even if they don't get that first phase, they can reboot and speed it up as and when. on the next couple of phases, but they're trying to do it all on one movement.
Yes.
So
Philip Uwar driving it in.
I think the word is patience for these boys.
And here is Uwar playing scrum half now. Opportunity here, George Olwach, but it's been stripped. And a bit of frustration for the French.
Well, look, it could be a card moment at this stage because they've consistently done it for 3 sessions.
So gone for the try himself, and I think he's over.
And he's got it.
And that's a score. And if I'm not mistaken, that is probably Alam Otim. No, it's not actually. So there we go. The East African score. Very powerful run.
As I say, with a bit of patience, they can come back on this game, and that will be. This second half is going to be a bit of a doozer.
So important the conversion, but the conversion is missed. And that was a good drive. So the East Africans, some opportunity back into this game. This big height on this. And good piece of hands there by the big lock. And the French powering away. Good run here by Bennett Guignot.
Well, the ball's gone loose, but
and he's lost it forward. It was a very strong run there by Bennett Guignot. Who
it was a good exit play from that particular moment where it was a bit sloppy from the catch, but they played well. So
former Stade de France in Biarritz, but now retired. But he looked fairly fresh there when he's just come off the bench.
Must have been a slight downhill bit in the end because he looked pretty quick and for a big man.
So Amindi, again, no retreat, but he doesn't take the contact. That kick there from Boskut, putting some pressure on it. Hape gets across there, but a lost forward and an opportunity here. Doesn't look as if we're going to get much opportunity there for the advantage.
Yep, and
held up.
Unfortunately, when you have your players like that and they're held up, that's when they need the help. So unfortunately, the East African boys need to add a bit of weight behind them to get
there wasn't any support.
To get that maul into a rut, because if they don't, then that man's going to be held up like he just did. But luckily to the East Africans, it did not. It went their way, I should say.
So the first scorer was Assam Mugarawa.
Have you been thinking about that all that?
Right.
But well done. They tick that box.
A bit loose on the distribution there, by a couple of them actually, and they've made their own troubles here. Is there pace between the French? And some clever play there.
Once again, they're keeping them up, so they've got to go in.
The scrum half. Again.
I think some of the East African boys entering the maul on the wrong side, so penalties being given.
Again, Alam Otim making a big effort to get back there. And John Jackson. So a bit of momentum change on that occasion when they had possession, but they were loose with it and very careless, and it all went badly wrong for them.
Just taking this time to say a big hello to good friends of mine, Carl Meshan, who's come all the way from Liverpool to watch the rugby here in Hong Kong. So welcome back, Carl.
So the rolling maul is moving towards the East African line at great pace, and bursting through the crowd is Clement Esterola. And it looked for a moment there as if the East Africans decided they were standing off initially, and then they engaged. And they were a little slow to form their ruck, say their maul, and as a consequence, it was very easy there for Esterola to run off the back of that. So disappointing for the East Africans, who it looked for a moment as if we're coming back into this game.
As I say, it would have been a smart move for them not to have engaged in that maul situation, and created that offside rule where the ball isn't formed. So any movement off the line out would have meant a penalty against the team.
So through the hands, and again some disappointing handling there.
It is.
That was number 12, Kelvin Omilo, Kenyan. And again, a bit of experience at Kenya 15s level. And perhaps the ball getting a little greasy with the humidity.
Possibly the lighting here might be a factor, where if they've been playing in the sun all day and well, any reasons behind it, but
so the French scrum looking strong. Some good runners on the loop there. That's Cook. It's gone round and looks as if a foot in touch for definite on that occasion. Got a Matthew Ford is the 10, and Lucas Tulo. And it was a good loop round by Ford, who has played with several clubs in France.
That phase there looked quite promising. Unlucky for the Pyrenees. They have mixed their play up a bit in this particular game. They've hit it up close. They've moved it wide. They've taken line outs and done the drive.
So there's Watham fighting his way into that position. And
looks like from holding
disappointing on again, holding on in front of the posts. And a step and a go and a big powerful fend. And it looks like Jean-Charles Fiende has managed to cross the whitewash. And again, big fend and a fine finish by the French, and that probably takes them too far away from the East Africans. And but the Pyrenees look as if they may be a team to be reckoned with in tomorrow's. Ford doesn't quite get to the 10 metre. We'll come back on that, but it does look as if the Pyrenees are going to be challenging.
They definitely do. They've played a smart game, and against a side that, if given space, could have done some damage, but they've contained it quite well. And as I say, they've got some talented players in this East African team, and they're not finished yet.
Jonah Tualoga, and that 15 being shuffled out of the pitch is Tony Oyango of Kenya. A lot of power in the French side, particularly Cyril Andre, who has 2 tries in this match. There is the East African try scorer, Cyrus Watham, and making his debut in the 10s, the hooker. So, is there a consolation? Another consolation for the East Africans. Again, a drop ball under a lot of pressure, admittedly. And frustration for George Olwok.
So we got 2 seconds to go, and it looks like it's the last play of the game.
We have had some matches that seem to have rolled on for 2-3 minutes.
Exactly, yeah.
But
I'm guessing the next play will be a kick into touch, but you never know with the Pyrenees.
So Jules Labelle has that decision. Scrum at an early engage, perhaps. No, we didn't really see that.
They have decided.
There's a big piece of power here. Damien Trail gets the offload to Toulot. And good quick ball, flat ball. It's gone backwards. And there is the Englishman. And crossing. And one last opportunity for the East Africans. And there goes the big figure of Jonah Tualoga. A good line and a good...
Yep, they've played well there.
John Jackson, Fijian, on that line there, and we're getting another infringement here. We're going to get a card for a Frenchman. I think it's going to be Clement Esterola who's taken the walk. And hands in the ruck. Opportunity now. Philip Uwur manages to make a few yards. Big 10 coming in is Buskut. It's recycled well, but Buskut has lost it forward.
It looked like there was a slight knock on there.
And that is the final whistle now. The Pyrenees winning by 29 points against the East Africans. An impressive performance by the Pyrenees, who will be a threat